Fuck up. Bang, man, 20 people at once just jumped in. DNSM, Farmetto, JV's most wanted. Hey, what's up, JV? Rude Boy, San Fran, Jose, Demon, East Palo Alto, Raw 510, Damian Vargas, Mr. Munoz, Mr. Alvarez, Pelon in the building, MTP 408 in the building, Josue, I see you. Porterville in the building, Little Loco, Allen, Will Ag, Danny Hilton in the building, CEO of Annoying Cholos, Andy Martinez, Rafa is in the building. Sin City Vanquish, MTP 408, Easy, Amanda in the building. I see you, boy. Fat Ass Dave, Warren Supreme, Caesar B, Song Front 415er, Matthew, what's up, boy? Shadow Pit, Robert Wilson, 880J, Alex Valencia. I see you, boy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen? Beatrice C. Cubestero. Now, Flacco will be on in a minute. Appreciate you, MTP. Bend you down, back shot. Good love. That's one hell of a long name, bro. I see you, though. Fat Ass Dave is not even fat. How the fuck do I become a member? On the page, you just got to hit join. 880J, I can read your comment. I heard Flacco's ringtone, that 80 song, Leave Me Alone. I'm a family, man. Big Weddle Duran. What's the topic? Man, on the lives, we usually don't do no topics, man. We usually let people jump in and bullshit, man. Things like that. Rudy Trujillo, Colorado in the building. Sir Juju. Fish Slayer, busting me upside the head. Fish Slayer caught some nice damn fish, boy. I seen that, man. My bad, I forgot to answer you back. I've had a lot going on today, man. Nicholas, I see you. That's the calendar. When do I start collecting? Man, as soon as you can. Albert, I see you, boy. Donna wins. Gracias. Doing good, Albert. Doing good. Joe M in the building. Appreciate you guys, man. The A's are killing you, huh? What, are you betting against them? Or are they losing? What's going on, Danny? Oh, Sergio Gonzalez is in the house. What's up, boy? Short ribs. That's right. The Wolf. You always mention your briskets. What smoker you using? Time temp. Man, usually I just use a propane job that does pellets, you know, or it could do wood chips as well. But man, it all depends on the weight. You know what I mean? There's a lot, and it depends on how long you want to let it go, you know. But man, you put it at like 180, shit, 200. I mean, it don't matter. You know, you just gotta let it sit. But man, I mean, there's so many different sizes of briskets, man. It's gonna vary by weight, by pounds. You know, obviously, the bigger it is, the longer it's gonna have to be on there. Losing ceremoniously, huh? That's a great word to use right there. Flacco's in the house. I'm gonna put this damn link up for young flocks. Norwalk is in the building. What's up, Armando? Stiffy, I see you. I missed somebody. Hold on. What did I miss? Hey, Anthony Garza, thank you, bro. Hey, Rojo, is your. Oh no, I got you. Appreciate you too, by the way. Man, I try to adjust it, you know, as I go. Man, I'll go. Man, I'll go anywhere from like 185 all the way to 220. You know, I mean, it just depends. Hey, Palone XA, bro, thank you. Man, you guys are starting off strong today, just smacking your boy upside his head. Appreciate you, Palone, for sure. Alex Valencia, either on here with the super chat or Cash App. However, brother, I appreciate you asking. Let's see. What's a roast from Solace? We need to see a sparring training video. I'll put one out real soon, bro. You take EBT to subscribe. Good love. Nah, I can't say that I do. YouTube, I don't. You gotta talk to YouTube about their payment options. Man, Danny Hilden, man. Who are the A's even playing, man? I haven't even been following sports, man. I've been so busy, unfortunately. I've been tired the last few days, boy. It's been a stressful couple of days. Y'all don't get bashful on me now. Joe, hey Joe, I see you, boy. That's weird, man. It's not sending no messages, then I'll get like 15 at once. How you doing, Joe? We need to see a training video. I got you guys coming, man. What separates internet bros who can generate a lot of revenue from those who can't? You're gonna move up faster. You're gonna be more respected, and you're gonna be more likely to get away with stuff that could otherwise maybe get you in a bad standing. You know what I mean, MK? Some of those cats are in prison starving, according to the recorder calls on Boxer Channel. They're always going to say that. They could have 100 grand in their account, and they're still going to be starving, according to them. Born Supreme, what's up, boy? Oh, they're losing to the Blue Jays. Is Big Toko jumping on with us? Is that what I see?
I told him to.
Fish Slayer, man, Fish Slayer is busting me today, boy. Fish Slayer came in throwing hot ones. Doing it right. Always just freaking sport. I take EBT. Hit me up. Hey, that's right. 2 for 1. Get it, Fish Slayer. Shit, you got enough fish to last you the year.
Hey, tell Toko to. Hey, tell Toko to jump in, bro.
I see him right there. Toko, I know you can hear us. You should box someone boxer weight class before you fight boxer.
Man, I'm about to eat dinner. Decided to tap in real quick. You mean? Send my regards to everybody.
You ain't eating no dinner.
I'm eating.
My wife in the building.
My wife be cooking bomb food over here, man. She's trying to fatten me up.
Toko, the link's on there, man. If you got a minute to jump on, bro. If not, no.
I want my boy Toko to tap in. I haven't seen him for a minute.
Oklahoma in the building. Tulsa.
Tap on it, Joe.
Tulsa's a rough little town. Out in the middle of the sticks in Oklahoma. Just all of a sudden, it's just rough. Rojo, what do you think about when you're training?
The hard 9400. They say hi, Mrs. Flacco.
I just think about getting my wind up to par.
That fry bread though, where to go?
George Gonzalez, Rusty Krusty's in the building. Hey, Joe's being bashful, huh?
What's up, baby?
I spoke too soon. As soon as I said that, bang! Look who steps in the room. What's up, boy?
Look, no mask.
What you doing,
man? What's up, Toko, man? Send my love and respect that way, man.
What's up, brothers, man? Good to see you guys.
Like,
man, some laundry in this 108 going on? I'm doing laundry on this Friday night. I'm supposed to have a date because I'm trying to get me some women trouble like Flacco over there, but she got to work. So yeah, old Toko's putting himself out there.
There you go.
So you're dating someone? You're dating someone now, Toko?
Thanks to you guys, I ran into somebody when I was in Cali. Turns out she lives in the same area I live in now. And she's a fan of the channel. She heard the story because one of her other partners knows your partner, Rascal, and they listened to his story on Stories Written by a Current Prisoner. And then it came up to my thumbnail, and she's like, who's this dude? And then, you know, like everybody else, the second part of the story breaks everybody's heart, but it is what it is. And that kicked off a conversation. That kicked off another conversation and some text messages, some FaceTime, and you know, see how it goes.
I told you, brother. I told you.
Yeah. Everything King AZ over there has been saying has been coming true little by little. You're like, watch. I'm gonna hear in a few months. Here a few months later, and like I said, man, it just happens that way. You know what I mean?
That's right. I told you it was
I've
gonna
just been
happen for you, bro.
busy with work. You know what I mean? And busy making this new transition to the new spot and stuff like that, and then catching up on all your videos and things like that, man. The one you guys did on Joe Morgan, that was some privileged information, man, that, you know, not a lot of us that were involved in that life knew a lot about. So getting into the detail of that, I had no idea that JD in American Me was a half-assed version of what Joe Morgan was supposed to be like, and that he turned around and sued him. So that was, you know what I mean? It's good to hear about the history of that stuff, you know, and most of that's always just been speculation. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
You guys been coming with some fire, bro. I enjoy the different, you know what I mean? Even the podcast, I didn't even know you guys had the podcast roll, and then I seen it, and then you guys were doing the ghost stories, and I was like, damn. You know what I mean? It's you guys are broadening the horizons, which is good, man, because it's just gonna make the numbers go up, and it's just gonna take you guys out of that genre. Because, you know, let's just face it, the Familia and the NR has been around for a while, but they ain't been around for hundreds of years, where you can keep talking and rehashing stuff. You know what I mean? And I get it. You're not gonna make everybody happy. You're not gonna please everybody, but at the same time, they still fuck with you, and they still get in the comments, and they still subscribe. So what does that say? That means they want to know just like everybody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's my biggest challenge personally with the channel is finding new material that can appeal to the biggest audience. You know what I mean? Like me and Flacco could run material all day, but
yeah,
you know, it's hard to find something that could make at least half the subscribers happy. And lately our views have been shit for some reason, so maybe we're doing it wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like, you guys are just like me. I got that. I mean, I see Rojo's face, man, and I just start laughing because I see the comments and I see him trying to be quiet. And he just reminds me when I was in Corcoran Shoe, and then you hear all that bullshit with people, you know what I mean? When there was only like 5 or 6 of us, and the rest of them are, especially, I was down there when it was a lot of bulldogs. So you could imagine, it was like walking into a dog pound, bro. Anytime they see my back, anytime they seen the welder, I mean, they just, you know, and I was like, oh, and you want to bite back, especially when, you know, I just got indoctrinated. I was 20 years old, and I still used to raise the hair on my neck, and I'm just like, and then I passed by the homie cell, and they just be like, you know, like, remember who you are. Remember what you're, you know, the greater the good, right? And that same look that Rojo has, and even Flacco has that sinister look sometimes where he's just like, you want to just tell these people to shut the fuck up. It's hard not to bite, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially
no doubt,
when they're going
bro.
at you in the comments. But like, my picture's up, your guys' picture's up. Ain't nobody hiding, you know? Someone left a comment on my IG saying, hey, you know, how does it feel to be a fucking degenerate and a piece of shit? You know what I mean? You call yourself structure and Nuestra Raza and all this and that.
Good love.
Yeah. Alex Valencia. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Thank you very much for the support, man.
Yeah, people
thanks talk. Much respect, man, to Alex, man.
Gracias, my man. Gracias. Yeah, man. Hey, you know where I used to get it, Toko, man, was in Quentin, bro. During visiting, you'd have to go by. You know how the 1 yard's the other day. You know, they have the PC yard on one day and then our yard on the other. Man, going by that PC yard, man, because for a while, man, they kind of knew that, you know, I made a call that had big ramifications in Quentin. You know what I mean? And a lot of people were coming in there like that had shaving accidents, bro. And they were like, fuck you, you bitch, this and that. So I was just like, hey, dude. Hey, you guys know how it goes, bro. It's not personal, you know? Shit.
No. Yeah, now I heard that. Now I talked to somebody the other day, and they said Quentin's unrecognizable because it's all S and Y. You know what I mean? And so everything, like the adjustment center, all that, he goes, you know, you wouldn't know who's who. That place is all bad if you get endorsed to that main line. I'm like, damn, you know, that was headquarters. But, you know, I mean, that was when I went back on this last case 12, 13 years ago when I caught that 10 behind what I caught it over. I didn't go to San Quentin. I went to Delano, was reception.
Right.
And that was like an 8-hour drive of hell, you know, when you got to piss, shit, wink, and fart at the same time. You got 100 motherfuckers on the bus, and you're going down in the middle of summer, and you're doing 10 and a half years and 85%, and you're going to a pin down south, you know what I mean? And everything is in question. And yeah, I don't miss it. You know what I mean? So even on my worst day out here, I tell people all the time, man, it's you know, it just ain't worth it. And everyone that's been getting out from my past, that got 15, 20 years back then, they're coming home now. And they're
Right.
telling me, Tokes, stay on that right path, bro. He goes, I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, it's just actives and inactives are just like, it's just all bad. You know what I mean? And you know, there's gonna be a lot of changes too, you know what I mean, on these active yards from what I've been hearing. A lot of the homies, you know, they're pulling away from the big four, you know. And so yeah, man, it's just good to be out. It's just good to be working, good to be living life, and all that shit's behind me. But if it helps somebody else, like I mean, Flacco and I don't get to talk that much. He's been going through, every time I call him, man, he seems to be going through something. The car's breaking down, the sky's falling, he's getting ready to move on somebody, the kids. I always call at the wrong time, and he'll call and he'll tell me what's going on. And when we get off the phone, I'm just like, if this was 15 or 20 years earlier, what would we be talking about? He'd probably be calling me to duty,
Man,
or calling me, be like, hey, bro, I need your assistance on something. You know what I mean? Now it's, hey, it's a blessing to have the car go out. You don't got no parole. You don't got no tail. You don't got nothing. You know what I mean? Just, you know, it is what it is. It just lets me know every time I hear one of your guys' spills, or when I hear Boxer or even Gunner, you know what I mean? And now the homie Rascal, man, you guys need to go check out his shit. This dude is just, he's old school. And you know what I mean? We're about the same age. And the way he talks, he comes from that period. You know what I mean? Even though, you know, I wasn't NR that long on the books, because when they dismantled it in 97, but he's just cut from that cloth where, you know, he talks about the education, all this paperwork you get thrown at. Now I heard when you get indoctrinated, man, it's just, you know, rojo, and we need manpower, and Flaco Okeji, okay. And the guys don't know nothing now, but they're in soldados, right? And they're just completely, they're no weaponry, no paperwork. They don't even know how to ride a wheel. I mean, my eyes are so bad. You know what I mean? I'm in my mid 40s. I got to wear glasses, man, from, you know what I mean, from doing all that writing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I used to have like 20/20 vision, and all these little ailments, man, the things that nobody talks about, the stuff that shoot does to you,
man, and you know what?
being isolated, being, you know, trying to, like I said, just even talking to this female, she just goes, it's been a while, you know, she's trying not to be rude. She's telling me, you don't really have that much to say. She goes, I was kind of hoping. I said, well, I'm just, you know, and I had to be like, well, I'm just a little shy. You know, what was I going to say? You know what I mean? And it's easier to text, write things down, shoot it to somebody,
I'm
you know,
still like
because
that.
yeah, you're not used to, you know what I mean? You're not used to conversating so freely like this, because usually if we all see each other, we got to just sign language, talking code, and that's it, and hope no one listens, and hope no one catches up. Yeah, you know what I mean? And man, how being institutionalized, man, I realized that, man, this last year, just being in the work environment, doing things, sometimes I got to pull myself back, because the shit that these youngsters talk about, or even these grown men, you know, they'll talk, you know, I'm always been considered the quiet one. And I still have that security mentality where even at work, what they're talking about, if it makes me uncomfortable, I make sure I got my back to the wall, and that's just for security purposes. If I sense aggression in the lunchroom or out in the parking lot, if these dudes are doing whatever, or, you know what I mean, any type of shady activity that's going on around me, I just have that, you know, my ears go up. You know what I mean?
Hey,
And I don't
Toko,
mean
what's
to
the
be
name
that
of your
way.
story on? What's the name of your episode on Stories by a Current Prisoner?
Structure.
Forgives
What they say?
the structure forgives the unthinkable, which I
There you
told
guys go.
Flacco,
If you want to
what's
check it
up
out,
with that? Yeah,
Toko's got an
but
amazing story for you guys who haven't heard it.
Man, that's one of
yeah,
the
man, it's
most impactful stories that, like, anybody should listen to your story, bro. And hopefully it changes people's lives and it sheds light, man. And you know what I'm saying? When I heard it, man, like, you know, I almost got teary-eyed just hearing this story, because I was the one that did the interview on that. You know what I'm saying? And so when he was telling it, man, I was like, man, I told him afterwards, I go, man, I felt that, man. what I'm saying? For
It's
any.
a true meaning, man. We always try to keep our family out of it, and I prided myself. My parents' house or wherever I was staying never got raided. I never talked on the phone. I followed everything, household everything. Like you would, let's say it was you or if Rojo was in charge. Hey, do it like this, young, and I would follow that. The other homies wouldn't. Then you hear about, hey, well, we're down manpower. Why these dudes fucked up? They got caught doing whatever. And I always, there was a rhyme and reason. You ask anybody from from the time that when I was active and stuff, I followed rank and file. I never questioned nothing. I bit my tongue on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's just because I'm a man. You know what I mean?
Alex ain't playing around though.
But
man, Alex showing love, man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? It just,
hey, Toko. Hey, one of my homeboys on here has a question. In your opinion, what's the difference between an active and a non-active nowadays? In your opinion, because he says everybody shares the yard anyway, which is true to a certain extent, but not 100%.
Well, Rojo and Flaco, you guys know this, man. At least when I got indoctrinated, when you knew somebody was involved in anything, they would tell you, no, that homie's all good. He's functioning. He's programming. We didn't say active. We didn't say inactive. We didn't
Hell
know
no,
what I mean?
we never said that, bro.
We never said nothing amongst each other. Like Flock would tell me, no, hey, he's good, homie. Your cellies, he's functioning in programming. Orale. You know what I mean? And I knew what time it was. You never spoke like the tattoos and all that other stuff, man. I didn't get inked up until I got in there. You know what I mean? And that's just because I was told on the streets, you know what I mean, that you got to earn that. So I went in clean. I came out, you know what I mean, looking like what I look like now. If I take my shirt off, I guess people would probably think I'm still active. But the difference between go ahead.
Hey, to stay active, right? If you said you were active, that's like you were admitting you were part of something, man. It was an admission of guilt.
And you get hit if you ended up in the shoe. If they found out that, you know what I mean, you're basically telling,
Bro, you were supposed to act like you were supposed to act like you were inactive just to get to a main yard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't get any identifying ink work, man, until 6 months before I paroled, and that's because, you know what I mean, the homeboy Bugsy had a fucking gun, and we had a little bit of pruno, and we got the green light from who was running the yard. Go ahead, don't make a lot of noise. And I says, hey, go ahead, start fucking inking me up. I'm going home. Stupid when I think about it now, but hey, man, I was proud. I believed in the cause. I believed in, the betterment of our people and stuff like that. The same stuff that Rascal talks about, man, it gives me chills because, I kind of got that slack as the first time I got out. I didn't obligate myself to a regiment. You know what I mean? When I got out in 2000, I chose not, and I'm sure people felt a certain way about it, but I tell you what, like I told Flaco, it doesn't mean that before I caught that violation 8 months later that someone got my number and somebody who was out asked for my assistance. What am I going to do? Say no? You can, but you can't, because then that just your career is not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, if I say what active and inactive means to me, it might not mean the same thing as someone who's actively up in the mix. Everything I've been hearing now is just like you gentlemen. It's just from people from the past or people that I still have, good contacts with or felt that my situation years ago, I felt the same way Flaco did, man. There was a lot of dudes. I had words about 6 months ago with somebody who's now, I guess, inactive, but back then was pushing that hard line and was saying things behind my back. But, when we were in Solano together before I decided to make a move, before they made a move on me, he had something to say. And he'd always say, if we ran into each other, I know his weaknesses, I know this and that. Well, it turns out, it didn't take long for him to know that I was back in town. And then we met, and then we had some words. And of course, now that I'm in front of his face, he's like, hey, bro, that was, it was business. It wasn't personal. And, he extended his hand. Of course, I'm not going to shake it. You know what I mean? I just had that look like Rose got on his face, like, yeah, talk all that shit. I'm in front of your face with your family here, and his old lady's like, tell Toko what you've been telling everybody, all these youngsters about him. You know what I mean? Knowing your situation. And I just kind of raised my eyebrow like the Rock, like, I'm your brother. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, hey, homie, you know, and I fell out of favor and, you know, and this and that. I know the betrayal. Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm done with all this, man. You know what I mean?
You know what, though?
Peace, love, and happiness.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like, let's talk about what we're doing today.
Yeah.
How we're living life now, because we know where that life leads us, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you're working, you're talking to a female. You know what I mean? I'm about to eat dinner. Rojo's over there, man. About, you know what I mean? Chilling. We're living life, man. The problems that we have in life today are totally different, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot better problems. You know what I mean? For me,
Spence, I'm just trying to walk away because there's a little restaurant where I'm at, and people are walking by and they're looking at me. I'm talking about all this frivolous stuff.
Hey,
like,
India,
oh,
as far as my experience, bro, where I was at, the natives did program with the Southsiders and the white boys. Yes.
Every pin was different, though. No.
Exactly. That's why I said where I was at. Yeah. When I was in Susanville, they were right there with the white boys and the Serenos. The rest of the others were with the homeboys and the brothers, though.
Yeah, but to answer that dude's question, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be an accurate depiction because my definition of active and inactive means completely something different because, you know what I mean? I'm from the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of people get it confused when I say, you know, I was never in the familia. I was never NF. Yeah, was I lightweight striving? Of course I was. I was NR. You know what I mean? And I followed the rank and file, but, you know, things just have a funny way of working themselves out. And when my situation happened, bro, you know what I mean? Like I told Flocko, I wonder if Boxer wouldn't be going through his situation because he was in San Jose at that time, if this wouldn't have come across his desk before all that, if it would have been different. Or even yours. You know what I mean? Or if Flocko was around, especially going through what Flocko went through. You know
yeah, a lot of things would have been different, man. Everybody knows that, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't.
It worked out the way that it worked out the way that it worked out, man.
I wouldn't be here on YouTube right now. I'd be probably in the feds or somewhere. You know what I mean? Doing live, probably. You know what I
mean? I'm sure we all would be somewhere. And then fight, and then going through that federal and state faction thing, man. You know what I mean? I've seen some of those pictures of. I've seen Sammy, bro. I remember Sammy. He was a skinny little dude. Sammy Luna. He had no tattoos. I think he got like life. All I remember from the paperwork, he got caught in Mexico.
Caught in Mexico, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
When I was in the shoe, a couple of his homeboys from Horseshoe were there. Yeah, was Jack? I don't know if Jack. It wasn't. It was somebody else, Ray Rivas or somebody. But they just says, "Hey, man, they caught the homeboy, this and that, and you know he's in Santa Clara County." And I would have never thought in a million years, but then again, you know, that's that vacuum effect, and whatever was left over in the state. You know what I mean? Obviously, man, he's been down Flocko, 30 years now, over 30 years, right?
Man, yeah, for a long time, bro. Like he was young too when he caught that case.
Yeah, and I seen that picture where he's got the ink and I'm like, damn, they're allowing that now. You know what I mean? And
man, they're all getting that now.
Yeah.
Hey, Toko, hey, J Diaz wants to know if you're native.
No, man, I'm Tongan, Samoan, and Hawaiian.
I would have answered that for him, but I didn't know if you wanted all that out there or not. So I just, you know what I mean?
Nah, man.
You know, I like how you answered that, man. I like how you answered that though. Tongan, Samoan, and Hawaiian.
Gibby's the one that, you know, I mean, I spoke it when I was younger, but when I got Gibby's one, you know, when I got indoctrinated, he's like, oh, so you're Tongan, man, so you're Toko. And then that just took on the yard because I just went by Joe. You know, I mean, and I didn't have a nickname or nothing like that. So, you know, I mean, Toko and Tongan means brother, and Uso and Samoa means, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it just took, you know what I mean? And hey, this is the homeboy. What do they call you? And I guess they call me Toko. You know, and that just kind of, and that just took, you know what I mean? And they're like, is that native or is that Mexican? Is that not what they? I said, no, man, that's Tongan, you know? And they're like, damn, you're a homie? And I said, yeah, you know, and And I kind of think some of in the beginning, you know, and maybe you guys could relate in the beginning because, you know, I'm not Mexican. There were, I got confirmation from some old homeboys in the free. He goes, yeah, you know why they asked you to do these things, man? Because, you know, I mean, they don't, it's not none of the paperwork. It's not none of the, you know, you can be a norteño, you can be part of as long as you believe in the cause, right? But still, there's some homies that still feel a certain way. You know what I mean? If you're not raza per se, you know what I mean? If you're not Hispanic, and I experienced a little bit of that. I mean, it all worked out. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes ended up being some good hermanos. You know what I mean? But I just know that I was put in some situations at the beginning just to test where my heart was at. You know what I mean? And see if I would tell. They put me in, you know, like the thing in San Quentin. You know, JoJo and I were laughing about that. He goes, you remember how you got indoctrinated in the first place when we were in reception and they hit Pelon from Mountain View? They sliced him. You guys got all rolled up in the adjustment center. Man, I was there, Rojo and Flaco. I was there 3 weeks, bro. My hair looked like I was native. I was just trying to get a haircut on the upper yard. And then, you know, then it went down the way that it went down. And then before you know it, get down. They shoot the block gun. And they're hauling a bunch of us off to the hole. And don't say nothing, homie. And then that's all I did. You know, and then from then on, you know, that's when I started, you know, learning the ropes, getting my schooling, and then meeting all the homies from all over. You know what I mean? And that was the process, you know. And I followed it to a T. And you know, like I said, man, things worked out the way that they worked out. We're all out. We're all free, and survived that ordeal. And all I gotta say to the haters, man, is look at me now. You know,
And
I support myself.
Did you end up getting validated?
I got validated when I was in Corkin on the main line. And I got, like I told Flaco, I got validated. They as a Northern, they weren't really, they changed. When did they change that? If you guys remember, because you had to get in all these fights. And if you weren't saying nothing, it would go down as mutual combat. And then you'd be, you know, just a Northern sympathizer. That was some of the first chronos that I got, you know. And then once I got in the shoe and all that, and some of the things that happened after I got released, then I got validated because on my second violation in 2002, when I went back and I got sent, I think I told Flaco I got sent to Jamestown. I had 90 days. I was in Quinton and I was supposed to do my violation there. And then all of a sudden hey, roll it up. Where am I going? I'm going to CC. And then all the homies are like, dude, it's all bad over there. They still had me down as another, but they also on my C file, they had me down as a Northern sympathizer, you know what I mean? Northern associate, you know, because I wasn't, you know what I mean? Because of the activities. And so I get over there, man, and it's 2 yards and they're all dormitories. And there was a Vietnamese cat that was running R&R. He happened to be from San Jose and he remembered me. He seen me in there and I had long hair back then. And I'm just like, as soon as I take my jumpsuit off, man, it's going to be all bad. And he told me, he's like, hey, bro. He goes, you still? I says, yeah. He goes, you know, you ain't got nobody here. This is all bad. And I was a level 3 and they overrode me to a 2. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, Jamie, it's all dorms here, bro. And this is for your people. It's all bad. I'm all, fuck. He goes, I suggest go get a shower, get something to eat, and then just take off, you know. And some of the Sureños that were there, because I look Hispanic, I just tied my hair back, you know what I mean? And when we got over there, I got in there, and then as soon as I put my stuff down on the bunk, and I'm just like, I'm not going to make it through the night. You know what I mean? I go to the shower, I'm going to have to, you know, they're going to know I'm acting strange. And sure enough, it's all it took. I got a glass of water, and then when I went down, they seen the back of my arms and they seen the Nuestra Raza blasted across my fucking shoulders. And they're like, you know, that was it. 2 dudes from Paramount, LA, Dog Patch. He had it right here, the big fucking 13. They said, Buster, Buster, Buster. And I just, man, my fucking culo was fucking sweating and I just took off.
Yep.
And then I went to, I went to They have one. So it's a level 1, level 2, and then there's one building there that's the 3 override, and that's the whole. I went there. I went to the committee hearing, and the warden and everybody was there. They're just like, somebody fucked up. What the fuck? I said, I mean, you're gonna do no con. I said, whatever. So I turned 90 days into a year, and that was when I got validated. And they shot me down to Salinas Valley, and I was just, you know what I mean, praying nothing would jump off over there. You know what I mean? I didn't understand how they could do it. It was a setup. I was a level 3. Borderline points back then, I think, was like, if you had 28, I had like 34. They dropped me down to where I was like a point below of 3, and they shot me out. And me, 3 other black dudes, 2 others, a couple Asian cats, and people that were endorsed to go to fire camp, first termers. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh man, what the hell, you know? And nobody, you know what I mean? I didn't have no time to do nothing. I was like in no man's land, bro. And when I sat in that hole before I got transferred, man, 64 days, you talk about the blues, man. You talk about
the 2 that
feeling
came after
like
you,
you're
did they come after you with weapons or just with hands?
One of them see me, and I was getting some water, and he tapped me, and then I kind of heard the whispering behind me, where it was set up, where the drinking area, it was all Southsiders on those first bunks, and he just, you know, they came at me when I was in the bathroom, man. You know what I mean? Dude's just like, dude. I turned around, I said, "What's up?" And he's just like, "Are you for real?" He said something to that effect, like, "For real?" And then the other dude's just like, "Bust," and I heard Buster, and I heard the springs from the bunks, and I just says, "Man." And I just I put my hair up real quick in a fucking, like a woman fucking bun, and I just, boom, what am I gonna do? I'm not even gonna wait for him to fucking stick me, man. But I tell you, bro, I was so shaky and so sweaty. If anybody says it's like in the movies where you just stand your ground and you have this Mike Tyson boxing match, it ain't like that. It's a rat pack. You know what I mean? And I did everything I could. I said, I'm right here in the doorway where the sink and then the shower. You know, if they get me on that tile, I'm done. You know what I mean? They're gonna smash me up.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. I experienced the same thing when I got sent down south, man, where I was called Buster, and I ended up taking off on that dude. You know what I'm saying? About an hour later.
And then the funny thing after that, I get down to Salinas Valley, and there's a couple of homeboys. You guys probably, I don't want to throw their names out there. They greeted me when I got to the yard. 114% Buster, and it just made me cringe. Like, motherfuckers are tattooing this shit on you now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when I told the story, they're all laughing, like, "What? That made you mad?" I'm like, "What do you?" It made me mad.
Hey, I got that. I still got. Hey, Toko, I still got that tattooed on me. I got that tattooed on me. 114% Buster on my right arm, man. Hey, Alex Valencia, man. Hey, check this out. Alex Valencia from Sacktown, man. Much love, much appreciation, man. We love the support, man. Thank you for doing that, man. Much love.
If there's any questions, I can't see them. I can't see any of the comments on this. So, you know, much love and support for supporting the boys. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm still part of the regimen, the YouTube regimen. You know, and just like I said in those comments, man, I said, you know, I don't get into the frivolous talk and to the bite. I don't play fucking both sides. You know what I mean? I respect the shit out of Boxer and you two guys, man. You two guys, when the pandemic hit, bro, I was in my head so much. I just got out to Hawaii, you know what I mean? And I'd only been out a few months, and I had all these things in my head, you know. 10 and a half years, my old lady's dead. You know, the way that I went out, they did, you know, the homies turned their back on me. Who can you talk to about that stuff? I can't talk to anybody about that. You know what I mean? I still lightweight feel a certain way about it. Not that, you know, I'm trying to buy my way back in or anything, but just, you know, I would have liked to have my due process like I gave every homie, and that's no bullshit. And that's not me trying to suck up or anything else, man. Like I said, I follow rank and file. Every rule was everybody's got their due process. Every Norteño, every B, every C, whatever, man. You write your report, you do whatever, you state your case, and you know what I mean? And you leave it in the hands of the big homies. That didn't happen. You know what I mean? And for that not to happen, for that to get swept under the rug, you feel like you're the only one. And then when I hear everybody else's stories, how it's just so quick to from everybody laughing, everybody crying and turning their back and feeling some type of way. How could you not? You know what I mean? But when you guys started this channel and started talking about certain things, and then once I heard Flacco, and me and my sister heard it, and she's like, weren't you with Karen? I said, yeah. I said, Karen split up with me after what happened to Flacco's wife. We were all in San Jose, and all the homies were just like, you know, I'll never forget. This was before Alicia and I got serious. You know what I mean? I lost an old lady behind what happened to Flacco's ex-wife. You know what I mean? And she's like, if they're going to let this go down and he's way above you, he goes, what the hell makes you think you could protect me if something like that happens and one of your homies comes on me? What's going to happen? They're going to laugh at you and throw you in the gutter, and they're going to fucking just have their way with me. And, you know, of course, I wouldn't admit or deny anything. I don't know what you're talking about, whatever. But as soon as the ladies left, everybody that was there was just like, fuck. Do you hear about this fuck? You know what I mean? And of course, you know,
Yeah,
the man responsible for all this is in Vacaville, living his best life. But, you know, I mean, it's neither here nor there, man. It just shows what you guys do is you guys give anybody that's on the fence. And I mean this with all sincerity. You don't talk bad about the old life. You don't talk good about, you give all the options. And at the end of all your spills about all these people that everybody looks up to, even some of the guys that I looked up to, where are they? Doing the fucking 1,000 years. They're never going to get out. They're never going to come home. That's all they know. So when I say I respect them, it's because I respect that they're just, hey, if that was my life, who's to say? We'll never know because I'm not there. But you guys, it's not promoting anything, man. You're giving everybody a platform, you know, and what they do with that platform, as some of you guys have seen, you know, with the little Toto situation and all these other people that have fall off or go to the side or talk bad about you guys, you know, in the end, man, you gave people a shot. You know what I mean? And it ain't no different. This YouTube thing ain't no different than the life that we came from, if you really stop and think about it. People still play the same games, have the same hidden agendas, and but what you guys do, man, if people can't see the positive, people can't see that, you know, you're not downplaying anything. You're just saying, hey, all right, man, this is what it is. If you guys are on the fence, you know, really think about it. You give something to think about, you know, because I'll be honest, man, if, you know, in 89, 90, when I was on the fence about a lot of things, you know, especially living on the east side, if maybe I had some influence like this, maybe I think twice, you know,
Right on, little
maybe I
sweeper.
would have thought
Appreciate you,
twice,
bro.
you know, that's how I see it.
Hey,
You know?
hey, Alex, I can't do that on this platform, but next time I'm on the regular YouTube, I got you, bro, for sure. Shadow Pit, I see you. 310 people in the house, man. I appreciate you guys very
tapping
much.
in with a whole lot of energy. I like that part, man. You know what I mean?
They say they appreciate your spill, brother Toko. We do as well,
Yeah,
man.
Toko's spill was the best one on that whole program, man.
Yeah, sorry
You know
it
what I mean?
wasn't a whole, you know, about moving and killing people and doing all that, man. But you know, quiet as kept, man. There's only a chosen few, because they're in I don't know. To them, it might be they're in the right place at the right time to where you're put in those situations. You know, every group has its regimens. Every group has their areas, and they have whoever's calling the shots at that time dictates what program that you run. You know what I mean? And I've always believed that because even though we're all under the same umbrella and things like that, it was just I was always influenced by those around me who had the yard. You know what I mean? And as far as my education and all that stuff went, you know, as far as that lifestyle, it was those that were around me. And it was whatever education level that they had that was given to them was given to me. And I like to think that, you know, I conducted and carried myself in a fair and objective way. And that's about the only thing I've taken from that old life, gentlemen, into this new life that I'm living now, is that, you know, I treat people like I want to be treated. I don't get all flamed up. I don't talk a bunch of war story. I just, when people start seeing the way that I carry myself, just like with you guys, then they know you've been around. I've had people tell me, man, I said, well, how do you figure that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean I've been around? It's like, nah, you could just see it in your eyes. You could hear it in your voice. Life's kicked you in the balls. You know what I mean? And you're living your best life now. And I always trip out. I used to think that I was a pretty good reader and judge of character, but other people read us too. You know what I mean?
How long you been out?
Ruru wants to jump on with us too. Hey, Toko, I got a question for you though, right?
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of spills about like RICO indictments now and gang enhancements, and have you ever, like, in our time era, like all these people that are getting like caught up on these gang indictments, man? It wasn't like that during our time era. You know what I'm saying? They're like every 2 years in different areas, like all throughout, man. Areas are getting hit with indictments after indictments after indictments, man. And they're indicting up to 80 people.
Right. I mean, the biggest one to me when I was coming up in the early 90s, and when I hit the county jail for the first time in 93, when this whole lifestyle got kicked off for me, it was Bobby Lopez, Lucky Shelton. It was, all those treacherous dudes. And I'm not kidding. Anybody that was in San Jose at that time and that was playing the game and that was on the streets, there were certain places where these guys used to be, because that was just a murderous, violent time. And, you didn't speak about it. You didn't talk about it. You didn't want to be around these dudes, nothing. You know what I mean? Especially Lucky. They just said that dude was just, you sneeze the wrong way, man, and you're done. And when all these dudes came out and they were taking care of business the way they were, and then when I got in the county jail, and I was still in the old county. I was in the snake pits. 3 o'clock in the morning when they were up in Second West, and I guess they called it Little Max, right? You could hear these dudes, all 21 of them, doing machina. And they used to intimidate the hell out of everybody. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right, man. Just, it just seems like once the 2000s hit, every year, every 2 years, pockets of California, they were getting indicted. People were going down, and not just 4 or 5 people, 30, 40, 50, 60 associates. And, it's just, it just goes to show you, man, it just, it's just a shame, and it's, people get caught up too, and a lot of them are really not that deeply involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a, and
a lot of them might not even know they're involved.
No.
Yeah. It happens.
You know what I mean?
Hey, why is it called the snake pits? Somebody wants to know.
I don't know. Maybe Flock was a historian. It was
the snake pits.
It was the snake pits, the fish tank, Hollywood. What else?
Okay, snake pits. They called the snake pits. I know it was like a pit where you went down there and you felt like you were just isolated from the rest of all the correctional officers at the time. Because we had COs back in the days, back in the 90s there. And you didn't have no showers or nothing there. And the worst one was the first tank of the snake pits. Right? Literally, like there was like, the shitter was like right above the TV. And there was no coverage or anything that was there. And so they would shower you like, you had no action and nothing. And then they would run water like maybe twice a day, hot water.
Yeah, and I remember too, man. What were the 4-man cells?
No, they were.
They had the
one
bars.
side.
It was just
one side. One side was 4-man, and then one side you'd have like I think it was either 8 or man, was it 8 or 12? I forgot. I remember I was in 213. I was in the last one down there, man, and it was crazy, man. We'd have fight. I got in a couple fights up in there, man. And the thing that was trippy back then was most of the fights I got into with were other homeboys back then.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I mean? There was no
or we'd get someone that we felt was suspect that was trying to infiltrate, and whether he was one or not, he was getting the business back there. Like literally, like all it was bad, man. It was Thunderdome back in the '90s. Anybody that remembers the snake pits in the '90s, man, I think I really learned how to grown man fight back then. As a grown man, it was different as far as gang banging. This was grown men fighting in there.
Yeah, I remember that back then they were trying a lot of people as adults, so they would, juvenile hall was right next to the old jail, right? So when the people would turn 18, that's where I heard they would put them was in the snake pits in Hollywood and fish tank, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of like set up that way where.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, the observation cells were right across from the single cells. I remember they're right across from Hollywood or the fishbowl. There was one where it was dormant, like it was just all glass. I forget if that was a fishbowl or if that was Hollywood. They had these weird names, you know what I mean? And then I know the new county jail was still under construction in the early '90s, and then they started moving everybody else up, and then I got into a fight as well. You know what I mean? There was somebody that was suspect in there who was I'll just say he was a Mexican national, but somebody thought that he ran with SSP. And so, we did what we had to do, and that's when I ended up
we
in
had a couple like that.
But they put us, they didn't bring us back, man. They reclassified us and put us in double red, sent us up to 4B, the new jail, And,
that's the thing that used to be cool back then. When you got in a fight in the county jail, they would just move you to a whole new dorm.
Yeah. I think what happened was, man, it was probably just too many of us, and I don't know. The
thing I don't miss was going to court back then.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The fourth floor, them getting you up at 4:30 and making you stay in shackles all damn day, man. That was the worst.
Yep. And it depending upon, if the CO liked you or if he knew you were a gangbanger.
Oh, they hated me. They hated me in the county jail. They blamed me for everything because at the time I was running the new jail back then. So they used to hit my cell like randomly, man. Like I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then there'd be like 12. There'd be literally 12 correctional officers up in my cell. You know what I'm saying? That's how they moved me to Little Max. They did it, man. Luckily, I was smart that I kept everything I was holding. I kept it up inside, even when I was sleeping. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I know how they get down, right? They came and moved me.
You remember Santa Clara County Jail? Like it's ran like the pin now, but back in those days, there was no HHPs. There was no schooling.
In fact, there was at that time because I remember I designed a whole new program for the county jail at that time, and then but they came around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Not like it is now, right? Where they're doing.
No. We had NAQs, we had HHPs, we had
It just wasn't as structured. When I went back the second time fighting this, I just remember, man, it was just, I was like, damn, I was back in the shoe. But it was a tight ship, and it was kind of cool because that's what I was used to.
I got moved from there to Little Max, and then that's when I was with Chuco, Huicho, and I was with some other dude that was facing a death row case, man.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was cool. You know what I mean? It was just chilling back down there, man. I mean, we programmed, but it was all business.
I think I met Chuco one. I think I met Chuco one time. Man. He was a cool. He was cool. I never heard nothing bad about him. You know what I mean? And it's just a trip. All those dudes, and then I still think about that too because that was from my era when you guys when Rojo dropped that spill on Bobby Silent Lopez getting off of death row. 30 years, getting a life sentence and getting shot down there to Salinas Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm glad he's out of that damn AC, though, man.
Yeah, but he gets thrown right into another mix with the state and fed. It is what it is. It ain't none of my business. But I just wonder, like where his mind is at after all this. What are you going to do?
I mean, after 25 years of being incommunicado, ostracized, and just pushed to the side, now you're throwing it right there in the mix. I bet you he's ready for it, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't. He's the only one that got. We already know what happened with Spank Heel, but they say Huevo's head. They say Huevo's head's not straight either right now.
that you, I mean, he's got some mental issues and stuff. Yeah, I would imagine, man. You know.
Hey, what you mean by validated in county? Do you mean could they get pulled in county if they got a nod from NF? Yes, you could. And I mean, personally, for me being NF, I could pull a bro anywhere. But yeah, they were getting pulled in county on the streets. It that wasn't like
it was rare on the streets from what I remember.
I pulled a couple on the streets personally, but I already knew them from prison. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that was, and I was always told, man, that was a Carnal's choice. He could do what he wants, but I remember that. Yeah, it was very rare. But in the county jail, you hear about it all the time. You know what I mean? And then when they get to where they're going, then
I had like 100 people hit me up to ask me to join, man. I think I pulled like maybe 5 bros at the most, but I can only remember 3 off the top of my head.
Right. Different times, man. Different times.
It says, "Hey, Flaco Rojo, can you ask Toko who was someone he looked up to?"
Somebody I looked up to probably have to be, and this may sound strange to everybody because of, who he was, but it had to be Bobby Lopez. It had to be silent. You know what I mean? Because, and this is my thinking back then. You got 21 defendants, and then only 3 of you stand trial, and you get the death penalty, and they didn't waver all these years, right? And then, and the things that I heard about him and how dedicated he was and stuff like that. And, and it may sound, like I said, I'm not condoning it, but you're laying down with somebody and then the next day you're having them taken out because you could put the organization at risk. And the things that he did, those were the characteristics that I used to try to follow by, like, this guy's made the ultimate sacrifice. And then for him to get shunned off all these years and still you never heard about him falling off or nothing, and then now the relevance is back and stuff like that. And just as a man, I feel for the guy because, he's one that I always wanted to be able to, to pick his brain, because he was so young when he went down. I think he was only 30, right, Rojo? When,
yeah, give or take.
Right. Yeah. So he's got to be what, close to 60 now, if not 60, right? 33 years down. So he was just somebody because he was from Sanjo, and just for whatever reason, the people that I was around, knew J-Lo, or they knew, and you see pictures and you hear things and stuff, what kind of dude that he was, and he was no joke, but and he always put everything above himself, and the good of everything. And then, I heard nothing but good things, but, of course, that's not what I feel now. But when I was part of all that, yeah, that was somebody I looked up to, was Bobby Silent Lopez, just from how he carried himself, things that I heard, and nobody's had anything negative to say about him. You know what I mean? And that's the one that stands out. All the other guys, like Tibbs and Corny and all them, I wasn't privileged at the time, or I never made it up to the Bay to where these guys were. Otherwise, I'm sure, all the stuff about Tibbs, though, his mind, being a Vietnam vet, and everybody, man, even dudes I don't like now, they don't, that back then and stuff like that, because I'll be completely honest. There were some B's and there were some C's, man. I wouldn't give them a squirt of piss to save their life. Because I'm telling you, man, so, I go from one institution to the next. Hey, Toko, fuck all that. This is how we're doing it, and they rule with an iron fist. You know what I mean? And what do you got to do? Again, you fall under rank and file. You do what you have to do. And you bite your tongue because you don't want to go against the grain. But yeah, there's, to say that I loved every single person I ran into, that, that I would go out of my way. Hell no. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're men, and some of these guys that get the power, they get the leadership, and you could have a yard. I could be somewhere. Oh yeah, that yard's good. Something happens. Someone else gets in charge. You get there, and it's all upside down. You know what I mean? And who am I? Just a bro. I'm gonna fall in the rank of file. You know what I mean? Okay, this is how we do it. You know, and then people are scratching their heads. You know, it's like, man, it is what it is. You know, and I remember I remember more of those dudes that rubbed me the wrong way than the ones that I looked up to, because I just made sure that I knew that if I sneezed the wrong way or if I came off, you know what I mean, I'd be deemed or I'd be put in a situation, because some of these dudes were just hungry like that. They wanted who they want to believe in their policies and their procedures and how they twist everything up to benefit them. I could say that now. I could say that back then, but that's
You
the
just had to
honest to
think it
God
back
truth.
then.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? You just, I get about as red as Rojo does right now. All right, yes sir, I got you.
Hey, I remember
You know,
talking to
and
some certain people, and all I could hear in my mind was, "Fuck you! I'll beat your ass. You're a bitch. I'll kill you, motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? There's
man,
people
you know
like
what I
that
mean?
everywhere, bro.
Who, Rancho, Dancing Bear? Who else, man?
There's been a few.
Oh man,
Hey, as
yeah,
far as
just
the 70s or 80s or 90s, whoever had asked me that, man, I would go with the 70s because man, death waited around the corner in the 70s. In the 80s, everybody started getting slammed down. You know what I mean? In the 90s, everybody was slammed down. In the 70s, everybody was running around with big knives, bro.
oh
And,
yeah,
and
like, you know what I mean.
every group
Like,
was at war back then. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
anybody could get it, and anybody could get got. You know, so I would go with the 70s. 60s and 70s were treacherous. 68 through 72 were extremely bloody. You know, but
Sundowns era.
it's got, man, I mean, you get killed nowadays, don't get me wrong. I mean, we see it all the time, man. But the 70s, man, 70s were the worst.
If it was possible, you know what I mean, maybe Flacco might have the connection for this. It would be good to it'd be good to hear from Lucky Shelton. You know what I mean? You think that he would? You think that he'd be down to give a spill or something like that? You know what I mean? Or tell his story?
I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
working.
Unfortunately, I can't.
I'm working on a few people, man. Just like I did the other day. I had the one old timer, so I'm working on
Yeah,
some other
Hobo,
ones.
that was cool, man. He was just he just told it like it was, man. You know, you could just tell those dudes from that
I'm working
era.
on a few other ones, man. That will shock people. So I'm in the works on a few things, man. So you know, I mean, stay tuned. I
Yeah,
got some things coming up, man.
I mean, nothing surprises me now. You've been getting somebody from almost damn near every era, so it'd be good, from that first San Jose indictment. If anybody, I know a lot of them are gone. You know what I mean? Or a lot of them are doing life or whatever like that. You know what I mean? But I know Lucky's on. Well, he's been on the other side for a minute, but I'm sure he's got to be on the main line too when they let these other guys out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's a trip though, because a lot of people that we know, man, like a lot of them are passed away, man. Like even the dudes that we were targeting out there in the streets, man. I mean, that
Yeah.
passed on. A lot of people.
When I heard about homeboy from 12th Street and then you know what I mean, situation with his son, like I when stuff hits close to home like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that was my boy. That
it
was my
brings it
boy.
all. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a good
me and
dude,
him go
man.
back to juvenile hall days. So man, like, and we functioned with the regiment back then. You know what I mean? And pre Black Widow, post Black Widow. So
Yeah.
me and him have a long, extensive history, man. So when I heard that, man, I was like, man,
Yeah, he's the one.
you know,
He's the one that found Dino for you, right? When all that was going down.
yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
From what I hear, man, San Jose's as is just bad everywhere, I guess, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just reiterates to me, man, that the things that I do now and stuff. That's why I mean, I try to stay involved with my kids. You know what I mean? anytime somebody asks me to do something, they do an interview or to get a spiel or talk to teenagers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I do it. You know, I don't give them a bunch of BS. I just shoot from the hip. You know what I mean? Of course, they want to see the tattoos. They want to see the ink, man, and stuff like that. But
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell the Beam Master is. Why do people call me the Beam Master, saying I'm smashing beans? I'm
dude,
lost.
man, I know, man. You guys be on Flacco, man. Rogaine, Hair Club for Men.
I don't say nothing. I don't even joke around, man. You guys like Rojo's the one that's always talking smack. I'm the steady one, right?
Valeria.
Hey, but you know what? But hey, man, you know what I mean. You get your props if you guys really. You guys take the clown pretty good. You know what I mean? That's
now what can you do? You ain't never gonna see 99% of these fools. It's like
exactly. You know what I mean? Just like when it's it is what it is what it is.
Yes, you ain't right, bro.
Yeah, everybody's roasting me all the time.
Shit.
Yeah. What did the men say? Because you're just such a lovable guy, Flacco. You take everything in stride. That's why.
The Rogaine rider. I'm just for men.
Rogaine ride, double R.
All right, Fitz Slayer, bro. Have a good one, homie.
Any plans for this long 3-day weekend we got, guys?
Workout, barbecue.
I'm taking off tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into what Rojo's talking about, man. My sister got a brisket, and then believe it or not, man, I've never had that, so it's gonna be a first.
I think the best one I seen was where was it at, man? That was funny.
Amanda has a crush on Flacco.
That's funny.
Throw up the R for Rogaine Riders.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
You see, I still know sign language, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know how to throw R any other way.
We have comedy night every night, boss. We've been hella serious all day, and then you just get 1,000 in a row.
You know what? You know what it is, Flacco, is you got that new phone, so you're on that 5G status for 4K, so it just makes everything look in high def, and I guess
his shit looks like 2K right now. No one pronounces my name right. It's Bass. Fire up the PT Cruiser. Yeah, they're on Flacco, man. We got to do a roast Flacco night. Hey, if we had remember the $5 roast? If we had a $5 Flacco roast, we'd be rich right now. Because they're on you
right now, huh? Hey, as always, man, about an hour in, man, I gotta tap out. I got some things I gotta do over here, brother.
All right, my man. Have a good one, Flox.
All right, Flox.
All right, you
I'll
guys have
hit
a good
you up,
one.
man.
All right, bro.
Most definitely.
Anybody want to get on, bro? If you want to get on, let me know, man. We'll chop it up for a little while longer. I got about 20 more minutes in me. Who wants to come entertain me and the homie Toko real quick? So how long you been out, Toko?
June 2019. June 5th, I paroled. So, a little over 2 years. Yeah, I was out. Got out in the beginning of the summertime, and then put me in a halfway house or whatever, and then a lot changes after 10 years. You've been down, right? So
you still on
I didn't have anybody. No.
Cool. Good.
I transferred. I transferred out of Cali to the islands, and then once I got there, I followed under their law and everything else, right? So their parole was different. There was no high control. There was no nothing, and the requirement was for me just to get a job, do what I got to do, and it was all said and done before you know it, man. Right before the pandemic, I discharged. So.
Shadow Pit, gracias. Ruru, no, there's no way I would, brother. That was a whole lifetime ago, my man. Hey, somebody wants to know what hood you're from, Toko. If you want to share it.
What's that?
Somebody wants to know what hood you're from. If you want to share it.
Originally from Sanho, but I was what you call an independent norteño. I was never part of a hood. You know what I mean? I sympathize with a lot of them, but you know, when I was coming up in the area that I came up in over on the east side, you know, I knew a lot of homeboys, but I never got jumped in anything. Just the neighborhood, you know, was predominantly Mexican, and they were all homies from either Palmas, East Side hoods. You know, there was some homies I went to Independence High School with that were from Moss Locals, Capitol Park, CMV, and you know, when I caught my case, I just went in as a homie. You know what I mean? And also, you're an independent homeboy. That's what it was.
What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
I'm exercising the buttons on the new couch.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know the homeboy Togo, right?
I know of him. I don't know him personally. No.
That's the homeboy Biggie, man.
Hey, Biggie, how you doing, brother?
His channel's the working ex-con, man. You guys check it out if you ain't already.
I do believe you were actually in Corcoran around the same time my Uncle Wolf was there.
Wolf. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Patas and Duck.
Patas.
You know I'm talking. Yeah, okay. I don't want to get into shit, but that's when Patas got his leg shot out. That was my Uncle Wolf that was there with him when he got his leg shot out.
Okay. Damn, seems like a lifetime ago, man.
That was a long time ago, but I heard you talking about the area because I got there after you left.
Okay. Yeah.
But my uncle, that's I like I said, I heard of you. I don't know you personally, but I have heard your name before.
Yeah.
What's up, gentlemen? I said mine.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? Oh, that's the Bang Bangladesh.
I know who that is.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here in spirit, Holmes. And the flesh.
Hey, wait. I'm gonna call you right back. I gotta go to the car. Wait, let me go to the car real quick. Skirt.
Hey, on some Uber Eats shit.
What?
Hey, look at Biggie. What's up with it though, Biggie?
Salute, man. Hey, doing the do. I got off work early today.
We got a whole bunch of live and direct gentlemen in the building tonight, man. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say what's up, send my love. I see my big homeboy Rojo right there.
Hey, Mr. Gracias. Appreciate you,
for those of you that haven't recognized, he got that new backdrop. That motherfucker's banging. It's like he's in the subways of New York right now. That motherfucker's clean.
About to start breakdancing and shit.
I was gonna say I gotta update my shit or what?
That shit looks like one of those smooth ass murals. You know the one Spit used to fucking graffiti over in Beach Street.
Yes, sir.
You are not old enough. Well, nah, yeah, I think we're all old enough to remember that. You don't remember breakdancing, taking the old cardboard, having the cardboard under your.
Hey, Biggs, I would surprise you how old I really am, bro.
No, I already know when you were in the youth authority. You got to be within 2 years of me, and Ro was at my birthday party, so he knows how old I am.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you old. You old. Yeah, I'm up there myself, bro. I'm in that same club. I'm in that same hair club for men, bro. You feel me?
But this couch it's got a massage button though.
Ooh wee.
How you gonna have that when you're in a prison cell? A couch that actually has a massage button.
You're not. You're gonna dream about it. That's all you're gonna do.
You ain't never thought in all your time doing time, homie, you was ever gonna get out and be sitting on the couch with a motherfucking massage button, huh?
No.
Hey, excuse me real quick. Hey, Ruru, nah, man. The Bulldogs were already gone. I came to the pen in '93, and everybody was already segregated, and I was validated within a year and a half, bro. So, no, I never had any skirmishes with the Bulldogs at all. I don't know if have any of you guys.
Yeah.
I most definitely did in YA. Not in prison. In prison, they were kind of segregated away from us.
Yeah.
Not saying that they weren't on a lot of yards, but I'm just saying we never ran into them. But in YA, you already know Biggie and YA was on and cracking, huh?
Little Loco, bro. I appreciate you, man.
That was the era when they
broke up.
I remember when the split happened.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when the split happened, like that was at first it wasn't beef. Like it was just they were gonna go do them, but it wasn't beef, but it turned into beef.
It varied from yard to yard. There was some yards where there was bulldogs, like say Phantom, who was really pushing hard with that shit, and there were some yards where they still kicked it with homies, and there were some yards where they started kicking it with Southsiders. So it just varied from yard to yard. But I mean, for the most part, man, in my era, we was on their head, man. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Especially the homeboys from Sanho, and that's why I put out that spiel. Sanho has always beefed with Fresno, bro. Them being the two biggest cars. It's
that
always
was always issues.
Hey, even when the Bulldogs were still homies, there was always issues. Fresno and Sanho. It's always been like that.
Hey, Toko.
Yeah, that's what I heard, man.
Hey, the critic got a question for you. Critic's my homeboy. He says, how did you end up Northerner over SOS or TCG?
Simple.
That's a good question.
I was raised with nothing but with homies. You know what I mean? We were the only Polynesian family that was in that neighborhood on the east side. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say exactly where, because I still got family that's over there, but we got embraced. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Spam and rice. My first girlfriend fucking gave me a fucking tortilla and a quesadilla, and after that it was over with, bro. Became a homeboy. You know what I mean?
Hey,
you know what I mean? Every time Gunner puts a spill on, man, he reminds me of my homeboy Sergio Martinez. God rest his soul, man. He was he was functioning. He programmed at one time. He was a B, but dude, they look exactly the same. Only Gunner was light skinned and didn't wear glasses, but they dressed the same and did whatever, man. He ended up getting capped by a Samoan over by Jack in the Box on the east side because he had red Nike Cortez. And I felt more loyalty to him than I did to my own people because to me, they crossed the line. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, people ask me that question all the time, man. You know what I mean? And it's got nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with how I was raised. Somebody opens your door and opens their house to you. You sit down, you have a meal, and they break bread with you. You know, I was always raised, and I'm an islander. That's family. You know what I mean? Teaching me Spanish and taking me to school and doing whatever. And then my own people giving me flack because I'm not a blood or I'm not a Crip. Hey, it just worked out the way that it did. You know what I mean? And when that happened, when dude from SOS killed my boy Sergio, that kind of was the catalyst. And that just kind of set it off. It wasn't fuck these dudes or fuck that, because, I'm always going to be Tongan. I'm always going to be Samoan. But we're just going to politic different. And when I got to the pen and I became a B, especially when I got to Solano or Salinas Valley, I get hit up because of my tattoos. As soon as they'd see my back, all the OG Samoans that ran with the other car, they knew what time it was. You know what I mean? So it never was an issue. With some of the youngsters, it was, because they thought it was the blood. When you got a big ass norte across your back, I don't see how they could misconstrue that as being blood, but whatever. But yeah, I definitely had my issues, you know what I mean? But never shed no blood, never started no wars or no frivolous activity. I was educated. I knew how to word these dudes up and let them know, hey, you know what I mean? You're still my people, I'm still yours. But when it comes down to it, you know what I mean? You got your side and I got mine. Simple as that,
Mike Hawk, as far as being in the same boat as Toko, as far as choosing Rasa over the whites, man, from the time I started, being a criminal, all of my homies were Latinos. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, You know, yeah, bro. I mean, essentially, yeah. I just see more eye to eye with the Latin culture than the white. You know, even I'm a quarter Cuban. You know what I mean? But um, I just don't like. I like the homie style and the Sereno style, the Latin King style. I'm just not a brother. That's just not me. You know.
Why not, brother?
I don't want to play with your balls, brother, and then go do a shot. You know what I mean? That's
Nah, brother.
not
Hey,
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
that was
hey,
the one
they,
thing, man, was the fucking sex play.
they got, hey, you know it.
Stand that
Anyone,
shit, man.
hey, they got down with that sex play. Them white boys, man, they were over there in Susanville. They weren't playing with your nose, they were playing with your toe. They were sex playing over there. They get down like that.
Gunner ain't lying about that shit, man. Fuck.
Hey, them white boys, man, and you know, shout out to the white boys, man. Hey, they'll cut your whole dome off, right? But at the same time, they'll grab your balls while they're doing it.
Can't give you a hickey. Hey, the white boys in West County were giving each other hickeys back in the days, bro.
Give you a hickey. That's crazy.
Hey,
right.
that's how they played. That's how they played. They come up behind each other and they give each other hickeys, and they be like, "Let's see you explain that, brother."
Bro, I swear to God, bro, in West County,
that's
I
real.
seen it, bro. About to go to visit. Hey, couple big white boys will hold one of them down, and one of them will give them a hickey, and then send them to a visit.
Yeah,
They ain't right, bro.
yeah. They're hey.
Hey,
And
bro,
can you imagine? Can you imagine coming out the program, all of us coming out the program, and a couple homies are fucking horse playing? They come out with hickeys.
Oh, there's a whole lot of knife play going to get involved.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's going to be bad.
Hey, they like that
Hey,
shit.
why did you get? You know,
They
why
love
did you get removed over a hickey?
Ooh, wee.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd like to think it's a good sense of humor. They got a good sense of humor. They
They
with the ship. They got
They
good
do got a
sense
good
of humor.
sense of humor, but man, and you know what it is we had no sense of humor, and that was the
No.
cool part about it.
No,
Yeah.
that's truth,
There was
man.
no, there was no
No.
tolerance for any frivolous wordplay, for any frivolous. I mean, we couldn't do shit. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely not.
yeah, just carry yourself with professionalism, cleanliness. Stay educated, educate one's mind, and that's pretty much it. That's all you had coming, man. Work out and write essays. And that's it. Period. That's all you got coming. Period. Plain and simple.
Man, this
7 days a week. 7 days
All
a
day,
week.
every day. All day, every day. Keep one's mind and body prepared for war at all times. Stay in a defensive stance at all times. I mean, we were always at a half 60 at least. You know?
Yeah, no shit.
At least a half 60.
At the very minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For those who don't know, just for people that don't know, because a lot of people don't know, when people refer to half 60 and 360, half 60 meant watch your back. Something's gonna happen, so watch your back.
Yeah.
Didn't mean we were involved. It meant half of a 360 is a 180. Watch your back. Watch your six. A full 60 meant we're going forward. We're about to push something. We're putting something down. We're on full 60.
Yeah, it's on site.
Down.
It's on site.
It's going down.
As soon as
So
the doors
full
crack,
60, man, you're not watching your back no more. You're going forward. As soon as you see it, you know what's up. There ain't no hesitation, no nothing. That's what is meant when people talk about a half 60 and a full 60. A full 60 is 360 degrees. You turn around, look around you, face forward. That's where the action is. Half 60 meant we knew something was going down on a yard. Just watch your back so you don't get caught up.
Hey, Roger Rabbit, man, as far as doing security in gang neighborhoods, am I the ops or am I just a worker being a gang member? As far as like security, if you mean, like work as a job, man, it's just a job. You know what I mean? And that's it's in clubs and stuff like that. But you have to be more specific, bro. If you want to get at me on a DM, feel free, man, and I can answer that better.
Yeah, that's right, Menace. I see you, man. Orale, Pistol Pete, I see you. You want my hat? Shit, me and Rojo, we were wiggling. I forgot where we were when I bought this hat, huh, Rojo? Remember? I copped like 3 or 4 hats when I bought this Frisco one.
Oh, that was at Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah, that's where it was.
I still got mine in the house. I think my daughter stole it from me.
And then I think the other 3 I gave to those youngsters, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Like, hey, just like Biggie says right here, man. Yeah, for the most part, we more than likely, man, we were always on a half 60. We maintained a half 60, and we never went below a half 60. As a northerner, you got to stay in a defensive stance at all times, and
We're
that's
always
how
out.
everyone should do.
We're always
You know, that's
outnumbered,
how.
man. 5-1 most places. 5-2
Yeah,
if you're lucky.
I think the only place that we had numbers were like our receptions, like Quentin or maybe Tracy. You know, other than that, we were always outnumbered, always.
The Martin
that
9400. Yeah, everybody here is validated, right? You were validated too, right, Biggie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, all of us are validated, bro.
yeah.
Was
I
Gunner in
spent.
CYA with Phantom? Yes, he was.
Yeah, I was in CYA with him. We were never on the same in the
I
same.
didn't think Gunner was that
place.
old. Gunner's old as shit, bro.
Yeah,
He older than me. He older than me. I'm
Yeah,
almost
you know,
26.
I just heard
I
that
just looked
spill
at it.
Gunner did with Phantom last week. It finally came up going through his old videos and stuff. I was like, I had to do a double take. I'm like, fucking Gunner got Phantom on the phone.
Oh yeah,
Unbelievable.
Gunner went from juvenile hall to YA in a
He's
horse
all-
and carriage. They didn't even have cars yet.
Yeah.
there was only it was like the circle. People would know because it wasn't like in YA at that time. It wasn't like there was a lot of people in there for murder. You know what I mean? Later on in the years, more people started hitting people and were coming in. But so everyone that was like in there for 187 or something, I wouldn't say it was a certain circle. I would just say everyone knew who everybody was. You know.
Yeah.
So I got to know a lot of the individuals that were about the business. And like I said, I went to Nellis, and then being in Nellis, man, your name, travels. Back up north, they were hearing my name. People that never ran into me, they were like, man, these cats are down there holding it down for the homies. So when I went back up north, I was like a lightweight celebrity. They were like, oh, you were down in Nellis, and it was all love. I went to Preston and the Carl Holton, and yeah, Phantom's name was ringing bells, man. Phantom was a bulldog that was really pushing that agenda, man, hard. That's how I know of Phantom, because in YA, he was just a regular dog. There were so many dogs I could tell you, Kilo, K9, Joey Boy, Danny Boy, the list goes on and on. But Phantom's name rang bells because he was one of the ones pushing the bulldog agenda hard. You know, so everything he says about dogs and that he gave up the North Day, as soon as he gave it up, man, he pushed that to the fullest. So that's the truth.
Central Valley
so Gunner,
you can take your canteen slip, Gunner.
The thing with that was,
yeah, I'm gonna put it
he
up on
got the word because it was Cisco and Little Anthony.
Yeah,
that it was their dad that sent the word.
Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, Cisco.
Gunner, you were there when they split, and you were YA when they were still homies, and then you were there for the split.
It was the two brothers. The two brothers got their word from the dad. Phantom ran with it, but it was Cisco and Little Ant that got the word.
So what happened was in Nellis, yeah, it was Cisco and them, and then Rooster and all them. So when I was in Nellis, I mean they'd already, I guess the split was implemented up north like maybe a month before. But when I was up north, the Bulldogs at that time, they were all starting to gravitate towards TAF, which was a lockdown unit, kind of like a shoe unit in Nellis. And we noticed that we had riots and the Bulldogs would never come back. And it wasn't that they were choosing to stay there. It's just that administration knew what was going on in CDC. So they were kind of keep them segregated from us. And as soon as Bubba from Northside Fresno came from up north, he brought the word down, and the Bulldogs, they immediately split, and then they shot us a wheelock. And the wheelock got put in my hand, and it just said, man, we're going to go ahead and let the Huelga bird go, and we're going to put our dog collars on. This is what we're about. And then I said, and I told all the homeboys, the first dog that comes over here, we're gonna send them a message. You know what I mean? So the first one that came, bro, we made sure we stretched him out real quick. And then after that, it was just right there in Ellis. It was on site.
Hey, Steve Forbes, please don't beat all four of us down, bro. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Steve.
Not all of them went though either.
I'll lift you up over a car.
When I got to Corcoran, man, there was still a lot of ends, man, from Selma, from Fresno County. There was still they were still banging, you know, especially Selma. You know what I mean? From what I understood, I was in prison. I never went to YA, but when I was in prison, a lot of them you know, they didn't want to lay it down. They were still good. You know what I mean? There was a lot of fucking bees, believe it or not, from Fresno, man. Shots out
No, yeah.
Fresno, man. I've never
Hey,
had any issues
BD,
with
this is what
Fresno.
I do. I lean down like this and just like that.
Hey, J-Boy, the reason why Gil said that Batman was the only real and putting it down there, that was 10 years after I had already left for stabbing several people. You got to understand that I got there to Nellis on the second busload of homeboys that ever got there, as well as Poetico and a lot of other homeboys that were there with me. Chucky from Soho. We're talking about Bad Boy from Sakura, well known. Soldier Boy from Stockton. A lot of real true hitters, right? Baby Joker. You know, Martin Martinez,
Shadow.
Sykes from Goshen, Sykes who's still a functioning T. Shadow from Richmond. Spanky from Gilas. So I mean, right there, bro. With just those motherfuckers, we'll go tear fucking a yard down in Corcoran right now. You feel me? I'm letting you know right now that Batman was a good, righteous homeboy, but he just happened to be the last homeboy there after we all shipped out. So, you know, Gil caught the late train on that. You know, he's talking about 10 years later. I'm talking about when we were establishing. You know, there's a difference between being the last homeboy standing, and that's because administration shipped us out. It wasn't by choice, believe me, because he would have wanted to be on that fucking bus to Preston first if he would have got the chance. Everybody did. But I give him nothing but love and respect, you know, and Gil was right as far as him being there for a long time. He was there for a long time, but I got my little 3 years in whenever. We broke in every compa there. Every building there, they sent me there to establish. So we held our own, man. We didn't go nowhere. So, I mean, you know, people are going to say what they say, but at the end of the day, those who were there, Sureños as well, know what time it is. It's nothing but love for the Sureños that were there because they went through some of the hardships that we went through. So it's all good. That's right, man. Senor 916, Bad Boy de Franklin is a hood legend. That's my boy. Bads. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Bads.
Yeah, Bads was with the business, man. I don't know what happened lately. You know, he I think when his brother Flacco got killed, that messed his head up a little bit. Hey, look, they said Phantom used to walk me around on a leash, right?
That's what I was just laughing, bro.
I'll tell you right now. Phantom would tell you himself, wasn't no one dog walking gun, right? Now, hey, Phantom is with the business, right?
I got you.
Hey, at that time, Phantom was just like I said, man. He wasn't the Stone Cold MSNBC killer yet. You know what I mean? He was just a regular dude, just like me. So he'll get down with you just like anyone else did. There wasn't a
the Stone Cold MSNBC killer.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, in this fashion, there wasn't, and I got love for Phantom, right? That's the homie. But I'm telling you, there wasn't nobody on that yard in Preston that wouldn't have fucking give you the business at any point in time, anytime you wanted it.
Crushers, bro.
Nobody there was behind me.
Work on these shoulders. Man, you don't want to get hit with these shoulders. I promise you.
Yeah,
it'll change your whole week, bro.
Hey, Rojo's a big boy.
Pinky Hernandez says, "Ha ha ha, Rojo. Who is this guy? I don't know, man. He's drunk."
What is Pinky?
Pinky, wow, Pinky. Shouts out to Pinky, man.
Big Pinky Hernandez in the building.
I didn't know they gave action at.
That's Uncle Pinky, man. Shit. Love you, Pinky. Don't be mad at me.
He ain't still got that tattoo on his foot, though.
No way.
Hey, let me tell you something, Shag K31. Hey, I like how people are trying to stir the pot, but I'll tell you, me and Phantom are A1 from day one. Why? Because we were doing it in day one. A lot of people can't say that.
Jose Solis, Bulldogs are not SNY, bro. They're general population.
Yeah.
They are in their own area.
There are some on SNY yards.
Oh, yeah, the ones who signed them. Chronos. I'm talking about regular Bulldogs. They're not considered PC. That's what I'm saying. They're
not considered, not amongst each other. They actually got a gang and a faction, an offshoot of the Bulldogs called Against the Grain. You hear about that, Biggie?
Yeah.
You ever heard about that? Yeah, it's called Against the Grain. But as far as the Bulldogs go, they could go SNY and then come back right into the fold because they don't play politics. It's kind of like it's like this, Rojo. It's like, okay, it's like if we get sent, say if we get sent, we're active, we get sent to Jamestown, okay, and it's a soft yard, right? Of course, we're instructed to get off, you know what I mean, and get to a righteous yard, right? They get there, they could function there, they just stay there and they just do their time, and when they get out, they're still solid with their homeboys because they don't play that get off and get on. They play just whatever, just do wherever you go, just do your time, maintain as a dog. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's a good question up here right now.
A perfect example is when they used to get sent to Mule Creek. back in the early 90s when Mule Creek, for everybody else, it was like that you didn't want to be on that yard. For Northerners, you couldn't go to Mule Creek. That was not, because of the people that were there, you couldn't go there. Bulldogs could go there.
You had what you have 72 hours to get off of that place, right?
Yeah, if you went there, you had to get off. You knew you had to get off. You had enough time to find a righteous target, but you had to get off. And there was like Mule Creek. There was what was it? There was a yard in New Folsom because they had, it was
CMC.
A yard, B yard, C yard. There was homies on C yard, but I think it was A or B yard that was a 50-50 yard, where it was like the Northerners on that yard weren't no good. So it was like you could go out there, you had 72 hours to find a target and get the hell off. Bulldogs no longer, CMC. Bulldogs no longer held to the philosophy that they had to do that. They were doing their own thing. I know in the Bay, when the first time I went to the Bay on the main line, when I came out of the shoe, when I went from Corcoran to the Bay, I came out the shoe, and A1 was orientation. So you'd go to A1, and back then you couldn't say nothing. They would ask you, you'd go to committee, and you know how you're on CTQ for 10 days. You can't go to the yard for 10 days. They'd hold you. It was an orientation building. They would hold you there. They would say, "What are you?" Man, I ain't nothing, man. Who can you house with? I can house with whoever you want to put me with, man. It's good. And you would have guys that would come back from that, because at that time they had already segregated. So A yard, they had took all the Bulldogs and put them on B yard.
Oh, D Money, what's wrong with you, bro?
Because all the
I know you were
conflict
probably
that
just
happened
joking
early.
about Wes Watson punking Skip, because I assure you there's nobody that's going to punk Skip.
No.
I promise you that much. Skip will cut your whole face off, bro. He ain't worried about no Wes Watson. No Wes Watson. If he was twins, triplets, quadruplets, he will book that dude.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I mean, you could probably find somebody who could whoop his ass.
Oh, everybody could whoop his ass. You know what I mean?
Somebody could whoop his ass, but
I ain't trying to be.
He ain't gonna let you do it.
Nah, he'll run something through you, bro. Keep playing with him.
Yeah, he ain't gonna let you do it.
Go punk Skip if you want. You're gonna have a bad day.
Go. You go ahead and try that. We'll be right here. Hey, we'll be right here doing a spill about how you did it and failed.
Look, Big Pinky, not happening. Shit, Big Pinky.
No.
Tell you.
I'm gonna tell you right now, right off the top, man. Hey, there's certain individuals within the O that garner a level of respect. He's one of them, right? And they all do, man. To even make it to become a C, that's a very elite company, man. Not everyone could do that. But the type of caliber that individual is, the dedication for what he's been doing for so long. If you think you're just gonna walk up and say any old thing to that dude, he'll cut your fucking heart out straight up. That's
just keeping it 100, bro.
That's just 100, man. That's the type of guy that is. He'll do it. He'll do it. If you pose any threat to his philosophy, bro, he's gonna stab you. You know what I mean?
Hey, and it won't alter his day either. He'll go eat him a spread right after.
He'll go eat a big old bowl of noodles.
Bro, I'm telling you.
There's a distinction there though, because you gotta remember too. You're talking about men who they wouldn't even have to do it. They could have somebody else do it,
but they'll still do
it. They would do it anyways.
Yep.
And they wouldn't even have to.
Let Biggie finish the story being in the Bay.
Oh, my bad. I forgot about that.
I found humor in that. My bad. That was my fault.
So when they asked you a committee, who could you house? You weren't allowed to say nothing. You were not allowed to say, back in the day, I'm a Northerner. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say, I'm a Southerner. You couldn't say, you weren't allowed to say nothing. They'd put you where they wanted to put you. And you had homies that would come back from that committee that'd be like, hey, bro, they're sending me to B yard. And guys would slide a knife under the door and be like, you already know what's up. They're going to rush you. As soon as you get there, you already know what's up.
No doubt.
nowadays, and I'm saying this because I know you guys were talking earlier about the term active, and that's like a pet peeve of mine. That just annoys the shit out of me.
Right.
I had a nephew that one of his boys at a birthday party asked me that shit. And I was like, "Are you a fucking fed?" He's like, "What are you saying? Fuck you, puto." I was like, "Well, bro, what are you asking me?" He's like, "I'm asking you, are you actively participating in gang functions?" I said, "If I was, why would I answer that? Are you a fucking fed?" Like, we never used that kind of terminology. Like, what is that? And you guys remember, I told you, and you guys did a video on it, and there was the case where guys are talking about, I'm active. The system recognizes that as you were saying, you were an active participant in gang activity.
Now
So
they're gonna
when the
validate it.
indictment happens, you
You're
got
gone.
you on self-admission. Yes, I'm a participant. Who the fuck does that? You're snitching on yourself.
Mhm.
If you choose to spend your life in prison, I'm not mad at you. Salutes to your endeavors. I hope you have a good time. Don't call me asking for money. Don't call me asking why didn't I answer your call. Motherfucker, because I'm free. Because I'm free. I'm enjoying life. If you want to
Hey.
go spend your life in prison, go suck it up.
Hey, Biggie.
Every man in this chat has done a fair amount of time. Go
Biggie, can I
suck
ask
it
you a
up like
question real
everybody
quick?
else did.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Are you actively enjoying your life?
I'm actively loving this shit.
I didn't hear that.
I
shit.
got a couch that massages me, bro.
Yeah,
You're living.
I'll say that. I'll say that all day. Yes, I am actively enjoying this life.
Exactly. Exactly, man.
My worst day out here was better than my best day in prison.
No doubt about that.
Quote the man.
Period.
Quote the
Point
man.
blank.
Yeah, I didn't hear that word till 06, man. I went back, man, after I'd been out of the system for like 8 years pretty much, except for, little knick-knack violation. I pull up to the hole in Tracy and somebody asked me if I'm active. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, man? Just shut up talking to me, man. Don't speak to me no more. You know what I mean?
Hey, did they change the yards
some
by
youngster
then?
asking Roll,
Say what?
"Hey, you active?"
I'll tell you a story
Okay.
in a minute. Toco, what'd you say, Biggie?
You remember how they had the yards? It was like 4 yards. They had the K side and the J side, but it was 4 yards separated by the handball courts.
Right.
My cousin went through there not too long ago, and he was like, "Bro, it's all cages now."
That's what I heard too.
And
Hey,
he's
check
like,
this out. You want to hear?
"You don't even go out with anybody. Like, they don't even understand what the integrated yards were."
Yeah, you're solo bolo there nowadays. Hey, Togo, check this out. So one time I go through Quentin, right? I'm in F already.
Right.
For some reason, they don't got my C file or something in R&R. They shoot me to like Badger or something. I don't remember which one. Whatever one's behind Alpine. They send me there.
Yeah.
I got a Uso Selly playing dominoes. You know what I mean? Chilling. So I go out to go to breakfast or something or dinner. No, breakfast. Hey, little loco gracias. I go out to breakfast. The homeboys hit me up. I had a big Mongolian and shit, right? They're like, "You're a homeboy?" Like, dumb question, obviously. You know what I mean, motherfucker? So they must have told me, like, "Hey, if something comes up, would you be willing to assist the casa?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I got you. You know what I mean? Don't even sweat it." So I go to breakfast, come back, go out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? And dude comes up to me like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey, bro, I didn't know who you were, bro. I'm sorry." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, I'm like, "Hey, no big deal. But yes, I would have, and I wouldn't even have told you who I was. I'd have booked that motherfucker just to show you how it's done, because I'm not better than you. I used it as a lesson to how I was supposed to conduct myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I guess the word got out. Hey, do you guys know Rojo from Pittsburgh? And they're like, "Yeah, what's he doing out here?" Like, man, I just asked that fool if he, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, "Hey, do you want us to discipline him?" I'm like, "No, fuck no. He's handling his
Yeah.
business, bro."
Because
what I
you
mean?
remember back then, man. Paperwork was slow, right? So you can go somewhere, you can come back on a violation, you could be on the line if you were validated for a minute, until somebody recognized you. Hey, that's gun, you know, and then before you know it, you're getting snatched up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're
I
able to
remember
you're
back
able to
then.
wiggle. There was a lot of people
Yeah,
that made it all the way through Tracy. They would make it through Tracy all the way, you know. And you knew this motherfucker just got out the shoe and he'd come back on a violation and he just knew he was going back, but he'd make it. He'd make it all the way. Last couple of days, they'd come snatch him. You know what I mean? But that's how they do it. They'd be like, you're going to K-Wing. We don't know what you were doing here. But, hey, he was able to facilitate all his business in the meantime, you know? So,
Marty Moran, I see you, boy.
yeah,
Yeah, man, I lasted probably 4 or 5
different time
days,
era
bro.
back then, bro.
yeah, it's different now. It's different now. And a lot of these guys are never going to experience it. Ain't nothing wrong, man. You got to roll with the punches and roll with the changes. But
Absolutely.
it'll never be the same. And that's just like the time era before us. They were telling us the same thing, and it'll never be the same. But this right here, what they're going through, CDC, man, has done took over. See, in our era, the convicts still had the foothold. They still had their foot in the door as far as running these yards. Administration are taking over these yards. They're taking them back. They're taking them back, and they're tired of letting the convicts run the show, man. You know, somewhere along the line, the ball got fumbled, and now they're reeling everything back in. I mean, the oil, you go to the oil, you don't get group yards anymore. It's all dog cages. They're keeping everyone segregated, separated, and then they're starting to integrate these yards. I mean, they're just trying to just cause chaos, you know? It's crazy.
I think about these youngsters that are 18 or 19, what they go through every day, that they get these 15, 20-year sentences, man, and they're just either sureños or regular norteños, especially if you're a northerner now. You know what I mean? That one was new on me when I went back and did that 10-year stretch. Oh, you're a northerner, you know what I mean? What? You know, and just all the different lingo, but 18 and 19, I just can't imagine. And then what's going on right now in the current situation, right, with the state and the feds, and having to, you know, participate in all that or choose a side, you know what I mean? Or learn one way, and then, you know, coming down the line, if you run into somebody else, you know, the politics are different, man. You end up getting killed or getting booked because you know, you're falling in line, but then just not be, you know what I mean? It's just a different man's game. That power struggle is real, you know what I mean? And I feel for them dudes, man. I really do.
Someone asked a question right here. Rome, you asked what happened to Goldie from Antioch after my situation. He got metaflighted 2 months after off the yard for making bad calls. So that's where that went. You know, I could have told you that was going to happen. Like I said, man, if you're out there doing dirt, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Someone's going to roll up that knows somebody with that wheel. Like I said, man, jail, it's called snail mail. Wheelers move slow sometimes. They move slow, you know, and they're always behind, but that wheeler is in motion and will catch up. You know, whatever palomas that I rode went to the bay and they hit on back, and when they came back, they didn't come back in his favor. So, you know, by that time I was already out the way. So, it was, you know, basically they killed 2 birds with 1 stone, but that's what it was. You know, if I had to make the ultimate sacrifice to get him off the yard, guess what? He got off the yard. So in the end, the winner was. I ain't tripping.
Sipping a soda.
Sipping. Nah, it's water. It's actually water.
Yeah, water's good for you, man. I think I got some water I need to pour in a cup right now.
Hey, by the way, man, hey, if you guys haven't tripped out, for those of you who haven't tripped out, man, go trip out on our new podcast that we just dropped, me and Rojo. It's called a Collectives Podcast, man. Hey, we got a big episode for you guys tomorrow on something I think everybody, I can pretty much guarantee everybody in this chat right now likes. Trip out tomorrow.
That was cool, man. I was telling Rojo earlier when we got on that I finally was able to get it because I guess I was hitting the wrong link, but then it came up under your name and Commerce Perspective and Gunners Collective, and I listened to the ghost stories, man. I was telling Rojo, you know, it's good to talk about the past, the prison, the gangs, and give the shots out to the raza and all that other stuff, man. What you guys talk about on there, man, that's just you know what I mean? That's just Gunner being Gunner and Rojo being, you know what I mean? You guys just talking life. And sometimes we need to hear that too. You know what I mean? Just talk about politics, talk about what's going on, man. There's fucking shit in Afghanistan. You know, I was still on parole when I got out in 2000 after doing that 7-year stretch. And so 3 months later, the towers went down. And I was with Alicia at that time. I went down, man. I went down to the fucking Marine office, but the line was around the corner like it was a Star Wars movie. I tried to join. I got all the way to the background, and then the shit came up. Hey, man, you're a fucking gang member. You know, because they run that Department of Justice on you. And I just says, you know, ain't no second chance programs, man. You guys can't, you know, I wanted to go. You know what I mean? And then, 20 years later, you know, all this stuff happened. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too much into it because I know this is the public platform, but you know what I mean? Like, you guys are able to talk about stuff like that on the podcast, man. And, you know, I checked out the first 3 episodes, and it's cool, man. It's different. You know what I mean? Showing a different side, talking about different things, man. And, you know, just life in general, man. It's a breath of fresh air. I know it keeps me, you know, when I'm driving that truck, I listen to that shit and I'm laughing to myself, and people, you know what I mean, they think I'm high or something. But, you know what I mean? It's definitely appreciated, that's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. Where we're leaning with that channel, man, what me and Rojo, we discussed, you know, is we don't want people to look at us as, of course, we're educated into this gangs and this prison yards and what's going on even now, but that's not our whole life. That's not what we do daily. You know, this is what we do for YouTube. We're putting Fletch out there. We're educating people's minds. We're giving them options, right? But that's not what me and him, when we kick back, we're not talking about the homeboys this and the homeboys that, because we're no longer pushing that agenda. Man, we're talking football, basketball, this. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm saying? YouTube acts funny, though. We're talking life. We're talking life, man. Ghost stories. I say, I'm always good for a story. Rojo, trip out on this. I seen this. He's like, yeah, all right, whatever, right? Because he's like, I ain't believing half the shit this motherfucker said, but it's the truth. But the truth. I swear to God, that black lady fucking was banging her shit, right? It's, hey, what I'm saying, at the end of the day, bro, we're just like anyone else, man. We like to sit down, watch TV, kick back, relax, watch a good movie. And we're going to talk about it, man. We want to put a platform out where people could call in and just talk about whatever's on their mind. You know what I mean? Not necessarily gangs and things of that nature, man. We got this platform right here for that, and we'll continue that. But there's a bigger world out there, man. There might even be some other fucking worlds out there. We'll talk about that too. Definitely. I know Biggie's gonna join in with us. Look, he's relaxing.
I'm getting massaged right now, but yes, as soon as you guys let me know something.
Biggie's in paradise over there.
Well, where we're at right now with the channel, and for the gente that are out there, man, to help us out, we need to get this 1,000 subscriber and this 4,000 hours watch time. When we get that, YouTube opens up the floodgates.
We need like 40 more subscribers and like a lot of watch time still.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works then.
If you're not doing anything, gente, and you want to support the homies, if you're not doing anything, man, put it on an old phone, just put it on repeat and let it play. You know, that'll build our hours up. Once we get it to a certain plateau, then it opens up where we can do StreamYard and have lives. You know, you have to have this certain amount of time before you can do lives. And then once we can have lives, now we're on there.
Make love to your significant other. Let it play in the background. Every 2 minutes stacks up.
Hey, just imagine you'll have gun in the background going bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
There you go. Menudo.
For 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes counts, man. Repeat and watch it again.
Hey, I guarantee your girl's gonna be like, rewind it. You know?
I got 2 more minutes in me, girl. Come on.
Hey, you're gonna handle your business, and you're gonna look at her, and she's gonna go,
lucky
gracias.
Yeah.
As the best 6 minutes of her life.
Lucky Loco says, talk about how the Denver Broncos own the Western Division. Jesus Christ, Lucky Loco. I'm not gonna lie to the subscribers, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, hey, bro. Hey, that'd be a lie on the fat mouth. Denver Broncos. Hey, right now, name one player that plays for Denver.
Oh, exactly. He's a Bronco fan. Oh, me?
Anyone on this panel, name a player that plays for Denver right now.
Oh, I think I could say Williams.
Nah.
There's a Williams on there.
John Elway.
Hey, there's a Williams on every team.
John Elway. Wait a minute. I'm still stuck in
Terrell
Pelican
Davis.
Bay because all we used to be able to watch when I first got there was Denver channels.
Terrell Davis, John Elway, Peyton Manning.
Hey,
That's it. That's the best I can do.
Didn't Peyton Manning won them their last Super Bowl, right?
hey, I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, none of those players have played for them for the last
Ron
5
Miller,
to 10
that's a
years.
good one. Yep.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, bro. If you can't name a player on a team, they ain't going nowhere, buddy. You know what I mean? Stick a fork in them.
I can't name nobody on my team, but I still don't care. It's my team.
What's your team? The Detroit Lions?
Hell nah, man. Carolina.
Oh my goodness, damn near. You know what I mean? Hey,
Hey.
hey, the best player that ever played for them was Ray Caruth, huh?
No. Steve Smith.
Fucking guy.
Steve Smith.
Ray-
Steve Smith. Julius
He
Peppers.
didn't want to pay child
Come on,
support.
man.
Yeah.
Nah,
Hey, that man did.
they had good players, but hey, Carolina was a default team for me. I used to actually, when I was in the youth authority, I used to be like, go the Dolphins because I lived in Miami for a while, and I had a celly.
I thought you just went to like a garage sale or something when I seen you in the with the jersey.
No. I was in the youth authority. And I had the case pending that sent me to the adult system from the youth authority. And my crime partner at the time, hey Gunner, you remember flipping snacks?
Yeah, I remember flipping snacks.
You'd flip the snack, so it was like heads or tails on a coin. So when they came out with the expansion teams, they said it's going to be the Jaguars and the Panthers. We said it's heads or tails. This is the team you got. Because at least then, if they win, you can say, I've been a fan since the beginning. Nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can argue with you about nothing. They suck when they suck, but they won when they won. And since day one, I've been there.
And they ain't never won. So
no, yeah, right.
Now, hey, you know what? Hey, didn't both of them go to the Super Bowl one year though? Remember?
Yeah, well, Carolina's been there a couple times, and they just can't get it done.
Well, Carolina went that very first year, huh?
Yeah.
I think that very first year they went and they lost. But
they lost, and then they had like the best defense in the NFL, and they still fucking lost.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That running back that white boy, he's raw, bro.
The one they had or the one they got?
No, the one they got. They got him. You know what I'm talking? McCaffrey.
Oh yeah,
he's raw. Bro.
Him, Cooch. I don't even know how to pronounce that shit, man.
McCaffrey at Stanford. Yeah,
he's a beast, bro. But you're talking about Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly's done, bro. Stick a fork in him. He's over there with homeless bone right now.
He was good when he was good.
Oh, he was great when he was good. Probably the most well-known player though from them is probably Cam Newton. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck Cam.
Yeah, fuck him.
Cam's a quitter.
Yeah,
Cam's a quitter.
Hey, Cam,
the Patriots just quit on him. They cut him.
Cam would not have. Yeah, they did. Hey, Cam would not have survived on a 4-yard.
No, Cam would have got removed.
He'd have been done.
That man didn't want to jump on the ball, huh?
Nah, he was something wrong. He reminds me of when I remember my celly because I was celled up with Sonny from Selma. And that was when Peyton Manning came into the NFL, and the other guy, Rivers, got drafted by the Chargers?
Yeah, and they switched.
And I thought old boy from the Chargers was actually better, and look what happened to him. Like, first year, washout.
Oh, you're garbage. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You're garbage. You're done.
Hey,
and Peyton Manning ended up being the guy. It is what it is.
Now, Peyton Manning was the guy. He was the guy in college, bro. With Tennessee, Peyton Manning was the guy, bro. He's one of those ones that you just knew he was going to be about his business. And first
time ballot Hall of Famer, got in on the first right on his eligibility.
Peyton was he was put. You got to understand, Peyton came from that family. His dad was a kicker. he came from that football family, bro, where he was the apparent heir, and everyone just knew all through college he was going to be the one. I was surprised his brother Eli did what he did. He stole a couple Super Bowls. He got lucky. You know what I mean?
Nah, he ain't get lucky. That ain't luck. You don't get that
Shit.
far off luck.
Bro, let me tell you something, brother. That defense and that catch right there, that catch that they do caught that shit right here. Come on, brother.
That's not luck though. That's the game. That's the game. You win some, you lose some.
You're right. You're right.
You listen.
Hey, regardless
The
of what I
problem with the NFL now is ever since Michael Vick. Well, now I'm gonna even go back further. Ever since Warren Moon, the NFL keeps on thinking that they can push a running quarterback, and they don't understand. You can't, because if a quarterback panics, he's gonna run. What happened to Michael Vick? He got his leg broke when he ran. A real quarterback. Name the 5 best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. None of them were runners. Yeah. Real quarterbacks stay in the pocket and get it done like a quarterback. But what they want is that impression of a double threat. Quarterbacks ain't supposed to run. Be a fucking quarterback. Do your job.
Get in that pocket.
Do your job.
Hey, I think the only quarterback, though, that I could say back in the day, not even back in the days, in the 90s, that developed the running game, where they first seen that flash, they were like, okay, this one could do. It wasn't Michael Vick, like everyone thinks. It was Steve Young.
No.
Steve Young could run.
No. He only ran when he had to.
And I know that. That's what I'm saying. He only ran when he had to, but he could do it when he had to. You know what I mean?
But he only did it when he had to. The problem is now quarterbacks run as soon as they don't see that option.
Well, they got so many plays built in for the running quarterback too. It's like, man, you're risking your whole shit.
It doesn't work though.
If you get under pressure and you're going to go down in the back and you can get positive yardage, fine. But you shouldn't have specific plays drawn up for a quarterback.
No, absolutely not.
Hey,
absolutely not.
Rojo, pin that question right there from The Real, Eleanor and John Boxing Show. And the channel, bro, is the Collective Podcast. There's 3 episodes. Excuse me, gentlemen. So you'll see us on there, man. We highly appreciate it. And tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow's episode is going to be fire, man. Giving you a little prequel right now for those of you that know what that is. So just be aware, it's gonna be good. Something everybody likes.
All right, kids, man. It's been over 2 hours, man. Let's go ahead, Biggie. Go ahead.
Tell them to tap in with the homie hangout, man.
The homie hangout. That's the homie.
Yeah, the homie hangout, man. Go check out the homie Rascal channel, man.
Bro. Hey, Toko, thanks for joining us as well, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Always a pleasure. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend and shit.
All right, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's all love, man, to everyone on the panel. You know what's up.
Gunner, saludos, man. Good job.
All right, brother.
Toko, salutes, man.
Saludos, man.